Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. In this video, I'll tell you about a foreigner getting into bed with a Filipina without being invited, the Bureau of Immigration arresting a Chinese woman for entering the country illegally, 11 million customers affected by the Jollybee data breach, a Filipino mom gives birth to her seventh child at the side of the road, another Chinese woman arrested by the BI, an airport employee finds a whole bunch of dollars but does not take a single dime, the UK's richest family gets jail term for exploiting employees, homemade alcohol in India takes the lives of 50 people, and more. Let's get started with the exchange rate. Right now, $1 is equivalent to 58.77 pesos. A Papua New Guinea national was arrested by the police after allegedly trying to molest someone inside a boarding house in Cebu. The suspect was identified as II, 36-year-old and a student at the University of Cebu City, while the victim was identified as Mar, 35-year-old manager of a BPO company. According to the victim, they share a boarding house the suspect, but they have different rooms. But on Sunday night, the suspect suddenly went up the second floor of the boarding house and entered the victim's room without asking. It was reported that the suspect laid down next to the victim and took her body. In fact, he even tried to kiss her cheek. Okay, so the whole part about taking her body, this was translated from Tagalog or Visaya or Cebuano into English, so excuse the wording, but yeah, so somebody tried to get some from a lady living in the same boarding house. I don't even know what a boarding house is. I think it's just like a home where a bunch of people stay in. But regardless, somebody tried to take advantage of somebody else. She wasn't having it. Called the police on this dude. Come on, man. It's the Philippines. People are friendly. Try to talk to someone that actually wants you instead of trying to take advantage of somebody that's sleeping. Pretty scary if you ask me. Next up, the Bureau of Immigration detained a Chinese woman who illegally entered the Philippines. The BI said it has arrested and detained a Chinese woman for illegally entering the country by evading inspection by immigration officers at the airport port of entry. Immigration Commissioner Norman said that the 23-year-old Zhang Zimu was apprehended at the Naya Terminal 3 last June 15th as she was about to board China Southern Airlines flight to Guangzhou, China. He also said that Zhang was denied departure clearance after the immigration officer who examined her passport noticed that it has no BI arrival stamp. A check of the BI's travel control system also yielded no record of Zhang's arrival. She was immediately arrested and committed to the BI warden facility in Camp Bongong in Taguig City, pending deportation. I quote, "It is a blatant offense for any foreigner to enter the country without inspection and admission by the immigration authorities." She was also traveling with a South Korean man, so this kind of stuff is not uncommon. I don't think she evaded entry stamp when she first came in. I think this is either not the person that's on the passport. So what happens was somebody in the country that has a proper passport will go ahead, sell or lend their passport to somebody else who tries to exit the country. And when they see that, they're going to see no entry stamp. But then again, how was that original person allowed to come in? So it might be something to do with like coming to the country by land or by sea and not trying to get that entry stamp. So I guess it makes sense. They basically didn't get the entry stamp because they snuck into the country. And now when they're trying to leave, which is pretty stupid if you ask me, it should be very obvious for them what to look for, what not to look for. But then again, if criminals were smart, they wouldn't get caught. Yeah, let me know what you think is going on with that situation. It could be a whole bunch of stuff. Roadside delivery. A pregnant woman gave birth to her seventh child on the side of the road in Cebu City at 6:30 a.m. or 6:13 a.m. Wednesday morning. Renante, a fire volunteer from Barangay Mambaling, saw that 37-year-old Waramali Rakamara, a resident of the area, was in labor and helped her recline in a long chair where she gave birth to a healthy baby girl. The mother and her child were taken to the hospital to receive proper medical treatment. I ain't never been pregnant, but I guess you gotta time that shit properly, right? It'd be scary, right? I don't want to be giving birth on the side of the road, but I guess luckily there was someone that knew what they were doing. This Good Samaritan, the firefighter. I wonder if they get training for baby delivery. Next up is a Jollybee data breach. Around 11 million individuals were affected by an unauthorized access to the record of Jollybee Food Corporation, the National Privacy Commissioner said on Monday. In a statement, the NPC said it was notified by the fast food giants on the possible unauthorized access to its data lake, which holds data for all companies under Jollibee Group, including Mang Inasal, Red Ribbon, Chowking, Greenish, Burger King, Yoshinoya, Panda Express on Saturday, June 22nd. Among the compromised data were sensitive personal information such as birth dates, senior citizen ID numbers. And that's why a lot of times I don't give my information unless I have to. I just use cash. Yeah, I don't want to be compromised in any situation. Next up, the BI confirmed they arrested a Chinese woman in Davao International Airport that was listed on the immigration lookout bulletin related to the suspended Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo. Whoa, the Chinese national identified as Zhang Ji, 30-year-old, was intercepted while attempting to board a flight to Jingjing, China at Davao International Airport on June 23rd. She was subsequently taken into custody at the BI Warden's facility. Yeah, right now, because of what's going on with the Alice Guo situation, whether she's a spy, whether she's Chinese or Filipino, a lot of her relatives, friends, or whatever have been put on this like lookout form. Her as well as obviously travel advisory against her in case she's trying to escape, or one of her, you know, friends, colleagues wants to go to the place she was born and get some information. Regardless, she got booked. Let's see what happened after. Here's another crazy story. Deaths from the Indian toxic alcohol rise to more than 50. In Bengaluru, India, the death toll from the batch of toxic illegal alcohol in India has risen to 53. Media reported on Sunday as more victims in hospitals succumbed to their poisonous brew. Tamil Nadu State Chief Minister said that the victims drank a laced and poisonous methanol, killing 37 within hours after they drank the illegal alcohol on Tuesday. More than 100 people were rushed to the hospital. Hundreds of people die every year in India from cheap alcohol made in backstreets, distilleries, but this poisoning is one of the worst in recent years. Woohoo! Yeah, a warning to all of us to try street food and not just alcohol, right? So whenever you try something from someone that doesn't make it right in front of you, if you don't know the ingredients, you're always taking a risk to get food poisoning, to get sick, or in this case, one of the worst cases, obviously, over 50 people, 53 people passing away and hundreds hospitalized. Yeah, kind of scary, because I know a lot of countries make their own alcohol. And I know when I was on the beach in Mualboal, somebody offered me coconut alcohol. I don't drink, but I'm saying I probably would have taken a sip if it was something non-alcoholic. So if, hey, check out my, coconut juice, something. All right, give me a sip. Kind of a sad story. Staying with the international news, UK's richest family gets jail term for exploiting staff at Swiss villa. Whoa. A Swiss court handed jail sentences to 4 members of the Britain's richest family, the Hindujas, on Friday, branding them as selfish for exploiting Indian staff at their Geneva mansion. Lawyers for the members of the Swiss Indian family who were not present in court said they would appeal the verdict. The defendants were acquitted for human trafficking but convicted on other charges in a stunning verdict for the family, whose fortune is estimated to be 37 billion pounds. That's $47 billion. Prakesh, 78, and his wife Kamal, 75, who got 4 years, and their son Ajay, 56, and his wife Namartra, 50, received 4-year terms in presiding judge in Geneva ruled. They were convicted of usury for having taken advantage of their vulnerable immigrant staff to pay them pittance. During the trial, the family were accused of bringing servants from their native India and confiscating their passports once they got into Switzerland. Prosecutors accused the Hindujas of spending more on their dog than on their domestic employees. The family paid the household staff about 325 francs. That's about $365 a month, up to 90% less than the going rate, the judge said. So I brought this story for you guys because there are a lot of OFWs, like obviously offshore foreign workers, Filipinos go abroad to different countries to work. And these kinds of stories are nothing new. The thing that pisses me off, you're a billionaire, bro. Billionaire, and you couldn't pay these people the minimum wage? Pathetic. I hope you rot in prison. I have zero sympathy for people like that. Oh, quickly, an update on the Kahlua dog killer. The suspect in Kahlua killing indicted. Anthony Solares in Barangay Tanod, accused of killing the 3-year-old golden retriever. He's not accused of. I saw the CCTV footage. He killed the dog. Has been indicted, and his trial will soon follow. Okay, good. Good. I hope he gets 10 years in prison for killing an innocent dog. Fuck that guy. And lastly, a 41-year-old cleaning attendant at Ninoy Aquino International Airport turned over to the Naya authorities the dollar bills she found while cleaning the seats at Naya Terminal 31. According to Naya, Rosalinda Solero noticed a pair of socks under one of the benches at Naya Terminal 3 South final security checkpoint and immediately turned over the items to the lost and found section of proper disposition. Yeah, I mean, always give credit to people that are this honest. I can't really see how much money there is. They didn't really say it, but it seems to be a lot of dollars. And the thing you hope for is that they actually give the money to the proper individuals, because you're just basically giving hope and putting your hopes in the authorities. Yeah, it takes a very strong person to give up that much money from just being a good person. So good for her. I hope she gets some kind of reward at the end. And lastly, our section about yesterday, today. The past 2 videos you guys have really enjoyed about the foreigner selling empanadas on Rafi Tofo, and about me interviewing Lee and bringing the story of Lee Madison, who's a 76-year-old in prison now, facing a life sentence after his wife snitched on him for having 3 marijuana plants that he had in his home and used it for medicinal purposes. If you guys haven't seen those 2 videos, check them out right here. I think you'll really enjoy them. I'll put the links to those videos in the description. Maybe you guys can take a look. Let's take a look at yesterday's top comments. Glenn says, and this is the ridiculousness that frequently happens in the Philippines. Instead of a war on marijuana, how about a war on poverty or garbage or stray dogs or traffic, or better yet, all of the above? Someone else says, Charlie says, the moral of the story is don't get married. Someone else also says, evil, vindictive ex-wife. A lot of people are against the wife in this story. So as I predicted, let's read one more. MJF says the U.S. government traded a women basketball player for an arms dealer who was in Russian jail for cannabis. Something should be done for this man. Yeah, big story between an NBA or WNBA player and an older gentleman. I don't think it's the same, unfortunately. I hope they do it, don't get me wrong, but just as I presume, there's going to be divided people support and against what he did, but that's just how things are. So leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of today's stories. If you take the time to write it, I'll take the time to respond. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. You're just sitting there anyways. It takes 1 second. Really motivates me to make these videos. Hit that thumbs up button. Share this video if you want. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.